I know a guy who works in an office, and the people in the office often have little squabbles and argue with one another, and they often come to him to complain. And so he's begun asking them a very simple question. When someone complains about a coworker, he says to them, "Well, what did that person say when you talked to them about this?" I've used that question a few times myself, and you can imagine the answer that comes back most of the time. Most of the time, people haven't talked to the person they're upset with. They're running around talking to everybody else instead, which of course isn't going to fix anything. It's sort of strange to me that we don't take the effort or make the effort to talk to people and say the things that we need to say. It's odd because think about people who own dogs. One of the very first tricks we teach a dog is to speak. We want them to speak. And I think we would all be better off if we spoke. I read a thing the other day that said, voice your desires. Say them out loud. Don't assume that everybody just knows what you want. I think that's really good advice. I've been mad at people at times because they're not reacting the way I want them to, or they didn't do what I want them to do, but I never actually told them what I wanted. I just assumed they would guess. And when they guessed something else because I didn't say what I wanted. The ability to speak doesn't just, and the necessity of speaking doesn't just apply to problems. How much better would things be if we were able to speak our joy and our pride to someone? How much better would it be able to be if we would be able to tell people how we feel about them, how much we love them, and how much how proud we are of them, and how good they're doing? What would that do if you called somebody up, or if you sent them an email and just said, "You're doing so well"? Could we speak those words? We often think them, but could we speak them? People need that more than you know. I think even spiritually, the Bible tells us over and over that it's important for us to speak what we're feeling and what we're thinking. Even to God, it's important. The Psalms show us over and over again that David spoke everything he felt, everything he thought, every worry, every joy, everything he had, he gave to God. That's all throughout the Psalms. I was reading Job this morning. Job certainly pours out his heart to God and speaks the things that are on his mind, speaks the things he's upset and worried about, speaks the things that he wants to say. That's a good practice. Not only does prayer help us sort things out, and not only does prayer remind us who's in charge, but as 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 12 says, the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayers. Seems to me God wants us to speak. God wants us to pray. God wants us to talk to him. It's a very simple assignment today. Instead of holding things in, instead of getting all worried and mad because something is bothering you, in a kind way, in a nice way, could you speak those things to someone? Because you'll probably be able to sort them out. When you imagine or say something, think something good about someone, could you speak those things and share that? You'll lift somebody's day. The very simple assignment today. Don't hold things in. When you hold things in and stuff them down, they come out in all sorts of bad ways. Instead, let us speak.